Hello guys, I'm going to do a short presentation here now for you on the 1605/2357 MBQ. Okay. Now guys, there's a lot going wrong. It's a lot we need to fix, okay? So let me just show you the essential criteria. So this is the essential criteria, the criteria you must meet for this MVQ, okay? This is not negotiable. It has to be met, okay? Just a short video, but you'll get the gist, all right? So essential criteria. Mandatory containments are tray, metal conduit, metal trunking, PVC conduit, and PVC trunking. You only need to get 5 containments. They are them. Any other containments you can add in if you like, but they're not really going to meet any criteria because they're not essential. Okay. When I say criteria, when I say containments, guys, I need, for example, if you're doing tray, it's going to be 10 pictures and it's going to be the full install. So it's going to be raw materials, measure, mark, cut, screw, bump, there you go. Oh, one thing, PVC conduit, PVC trunking, fire saddles and fire clips. Regulation 521.10.202 must be adhered to if installing it inside a building. If outside a building, across a exit as well, but inside a building everywhere. Mandatory cables, SWA, twin and earth, FP200, singles. Again, it's mandatory. You have to get them and you only need 4, and they are them. Accessories, choose from isolator switches, sockets, distribution boards, consumer units, MCBs, RCBOs, lights, control equipment, data, auxiliary equipment like heating components, fire components, etc. Okay, and again, 5 from that list, right? And that's it. That's the installation criteria, right? So that's what you have to produce. Faults. You must provide the following faults: loss of supply, overload, short circuit, transient voltage, loss of line, incorrect phase rotation, high resistance joints, and component faults. You have to supply photographic evidence of those faults, right? They are mandatory, all of them, every single fault we need to see, right? However, lesser known faults like overload, transient voltage, and maybe incorrect phase rotation. If you can't get those 3 specific faults, we can discuss them and talk about them. You'll tell me about phase rotation and machines rotating backwards if the polarity is wrong. You'll talk about what is a transient voltage, an unwanted spike in voltage, and you'll talk about an overload fault, right? But you've got to bear in mind that we've got to use all the testers as well. So, for example, when you're telling me about an overload, you're going to mention a clamp meter or tong tester. When you do your safe isolation, it'll be a voltage indicator. Where you do continuity, and you maybe got a continuity test you've got to do for maybe a loss of line. That would be that. Insulation resistance tester, use that for your short circuit and your earth fault. Earth fault loop impedance tester, you've got to show me you're using that. Phase rotation meter, well, you'll mention that. An RCD test you'll obviously use, right? Faults that are not on the criteria, guys. Again, we get loads of these. Open circuit is not on the criteria, or reverse polarity. However, if you've got an open circuit, like I mentioned before, and the line has come out, we could class that as loss of line or loss of power, for example. And reverse polarity, that could cause a short circuit in the right circumstances. So you could use that, but we're not going to call it a cross polarity fault, okay? But again, guys, just to reiterate, you have to get all them tests in your evidence. So we either get evidence of it, but the 3 I mentioned we can talk about, but the rest of them needs to be photographic evidence, okay? So that's that, guys, all right? I hope you found this useful. And it's not negotiable. You will provide them or you will not get assessed. And it is as simple as that, right? So it's the course you're on. It's the path you chose. That's the end of that. All right. Cheers, guys.